The first thing that you need to do if you are afraid of changing jobs or even making a complete career change is realizing that the fear you're experiencing is not something that is life-threatening. As we all know, fear is an emotion that can be very useful because it can protect us from actually dangerous things, like when you're crossing the street. If you don't feel any fear, you will just continue on walking even though there are thousands of cars passing by. So fear can be something really useful. But sometimes fear can also really just be a useless obstacle, like in the case of when you're planning to change your job. So in this case, rather than being afraid of a life-threatening situation, what we are actually afraid of is oftentimes just the discomfort that comes with the process of changing your job. And I want to talk about two types of discomfort, and let's look at this in much more detail, because once you understand this, I believe that the amount of fear that you're experiencing will decrease by a lot. So the first kind of fear that you might be facing is the fear of experiencing discomfort in facing new people and processes. I know this is a mouthful. When you change your job or make a complete career change, it also means that you are thrown into a completely new environment. Even though you stay in the same industry and role, but you move to a different company, they will have a different kind of corporate culture and a different way of maybe people interacting with each other. And in general, you just need to get used to working together with a whole new set of people. And for some people, especially extroverts, perhaps this can be something that's exciting. This could be the advantage of looking for a new job. But if you do not really like interacting with new people, then this can really be something that's holding you back, especially if you've been working in your current job for a really long time and you've become so accustomed to the people that you're working with and you've become friends with a lot of your colleagues. You're hanging out together not only at work, but even after work, in the evenings, on Fridays, on the weekends, you get a drink together and so on, and things kind of get familiar and comfortable and you start feeling that you're a family. So when you think about changing jobs, you think that you have to leave all of this behind and have to get used to new people. So that is the first kind of discomfort that you might fear. The second fear that you might be facing is the fear of facing the discomfort of new processes. And this is not something to be underestimated. In your current company, if you've been there for a long time, you know how everything works. You know who you need to look for to get what kind of information or to get what done, and you know how the whole process flow works and what you can do, what you cannot do, and so on. But when you move to a new job, what might go through your mind is that, okay, if I move there, I have to learn about the processes again. I mean, even though there are industry standards, everything is done slightly different in different companies. So you will need to learn everything from the beginning. You will need to know which department is actually responsible of what, and sometimes the delineation is not that clear, so it takes a while to get used to it, and you need to learn about the process flows, about the workflows, and sometimes that can just feel like a big hassle. Isn't it just much more easier to stay put where you are, where everything is so familiar, everything has gotten so comfortable? Yes, that might be the case, but if you are keen on changing your job and making an improvement to your career, then you need to face this fear of discomfort head on. You need to really drill down to the discomfort and find out, what am I actually afraid of? What am I actually afraid of facing? And after you've identified all the things that might possibly make you uncomfortable about moving companies, about changing jobs, it doesn't mean that it automatically makes everything easier, but at least it kind of prepares you for the process. And you know that, okay, if I do change jobs, then I have to face this, but this is really the worst thing that will happen. It will not get much worse than this, and it's not as bad as I imagine it to be. So if you're procrastinating, if you're delaying your job change process, your career change process, don't think that you're just being lazy, but first of all, acknowledge that you might have a fear of discomfort. Acknowledge the fear and drill down to the discomfort and understand it, and then you will be able to face it better.